Citizens speak out. As people in countries across the globe continue to demand freedom and basic human rights, their voices can be heard in countries including Bolivia, Egypt, Georgia, Kuwait, Libya, Palestine, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, Sudan, Syria, Tunisia and Yemen.
Sudanese Minister of Cabinet Affairs, Luka Biong resigned in protest of the northern government's violent takeover earlier this week of the town of Abyei, whose residents had not yet voted on whether they wished to be considered a part of northern or southern Sudan.
In Georgia, several thousand activists continued a fifth day of protests on Wednesday, May 25th in the capital Tbilisi, as they called for the ouster of President Mikheil Saakashvili.
Celebrated Tunisian blogger Slim Amamou has resigned from his January appointment as Secretary of State for Youth and Sports, saying that the interim government is engaging in internet censorship after the state regulatory agency recently closed down 4 websites.
Around 3,000 riot police were called in and reportedly ended without incident a week-long sit-in staged by 500 employees at the Yoosung Enterprise factory in South Korea who were protesting wages and work schedules.
Hundreds of Egyptians protested via online blog and Twitter posts on Monday, critiquing the military caretaker government, who they claim is continuing the undesirable policies of the former regime. They called for the return to a focus on the main goals of the February Revolution, which are freedom and social justice for the nation.
On Wednesday, the nation's military rulers announced that starting Saturday, May 28, the Rafah border crossing connecting Egypt and Palestinian Gaza will be open permanently from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, except on Fridays and holidays. This decision marks the end of the previous regime's restrictive policy and is intended to ease life for Gazans as well as support Palestinian reconciliation. In Saudi Arabia, activists posted to a Facebook page to call for the release of Miss al-Sharif, who was arrested after posting a video online of her driving experience, which is still illegal in the country, as they also called for all women to be granted the right to drive. Meanwhile, another woman was arrested in the town of Al-Ras after she drove with 2 female relatives to the supermarket. Kuwaiti youth activists and at least 3 minority party members of parliament have stated that they are planning a Friday demonstration to protest Prime Minister Sheikh Nasser Mohammed Al-Hamad Al-Sabah's refusal to answer questions in parliament about squandering public money and engaging in financial and administrative irregularities, while also calling for his removal. Interior Minister Sheikh Ahmad Al-Humud Al-Sabah indicated that such protests are permitted as part of the Kuwaiti government's support of citizens' right to assembly as well as freedom of speech.
South African President Jacob Zuma announced that he would represent the African Union as he travelled for a second time to Tripoli, Libya, to meet with Colonel Muammar Gaddafi in an effort to assist in diplomatically resolving the nation's conflict.
On Tuesday, Canada joined the US and European Union in imposing sanctions on Syria, namely by banning leaders including President Bashar al-Assad from trade with or travel to Canada, in response to their part in the violent repression of peaceful protesters.
In Yemen, Al-Hashid tribal members demanding President Ali Abdullah Saleh's resignation entered a 3rd day of violent clashes with government forces on Wednesday as they occupied and surrounded the government news agency compound and multiple national ministry buildings. A tribe member also reported that dozens were killed or wounded in an attack on the home of leader Sadiq al-Amar the previous day.
With sadness for the lives lost, we pray for all violent conflict to end and that people everywhere choose to lead secure, dignified lives in harmony and freedom.